Hello, in this new video. Today we're going to take a look at the next Team Go Rocket event, which is going to be lovely. Kind of sad for me that's after the next regional tournament where I'm going to be as well. But here we're going to have the Team Go Rocket event there for Galarian Expedition taken over. This is going to be a very interesting event here with the Shadow Heatran being released. And this is going to be also allowing you to get a guaranteed Heatran for the Open Great League. Or if you want to use your XL candy for the Open Mouse League, we're going to take a look at all of the new Pokemon and everything you have to know in this video as well. So feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I haven't really said this in the beginning of videos for ages, so would really appreciate that. Helps out, it is free. And we can take a look here at what else we have here. Of course, graphics as always from Galax. Big shout out to him. Best graphics of Pokemon Go, there is no doubt about it. We're going to have here, of course, the Shadow Heatran. We're going to have more Team Go Rocket grunts, which is lovely. I love those events. I love Team Go Rocket events. It's my favorite event type. And we're going to have a ton of new Pokemon. And that is quite ridiculous because the last few times we had only barely any. And now we're going to have actually 6 new Shadow Pokemon. And that means some very good content coming up. Can't wait. But anyway, we're going to have here the Caterpie for whatever reason. We're going to talk about this one definitely a bit more as well. We're going to have the Primeape / Annihilate coming up there as well with the Mankey. We're going to have the Gigalith, which is a Pokemon that actually got buffed, which I actually wanted to showcase anyway maybe, which has access to the move Mudslap as well as the move Superpower and Rock Wrecker, I think? No, Media Beam. Media Beam was its signature move from the community day. Very interesting Pokemon now. Is it great? No, it is not, but it's still interesting as a Shadow. And then we're going to have a Whirlipede or like Venipede there. This Pokemon is one of the ones that I would expect is going to have a community day in the next year for sure. Has, I think, kind of a signature move as well, but here now the Shadow bonus definitely something to keep in mind for future community days or something like this. And then we're going to have some more Bug Boys there with quite a lot of Bug Boys. And we're going to have the Escavalier as well as the Excelgor now as Pokemon that can be Shadow. We have some interesting Shadow rates here as well, with 3 Pokemon being shiny of it, and for the 3-star rate there as well, 3 Pokemon that can be shiny. So for the people that want to hunt down Shadow shiny Pokemon, those rates definitely help you out a bit with that as well. We're going to have a box in the shop which is going to give you 1 Radar, 1 Incubator, and 1 Raid Pass for 300. It's an okay deal, it is not a great deal. We're going to have showcases, and we're going to have quests where you can get TMs, which I might definitely going to try to get as well, because I'm out of charge TMs for the last, like, I don't know, year or something. I don't really have any charge TMs because they're rarely given out, and there are a lot of Pokemon that we had to build, especially for this season. So definitely something I tried to take advantage of. And we're going to take a look now at how strong those Pokemon are going to be in the Go Battle League. We're going to have normal Heatran here first. We're going to take a look at this Pokemon real quick, and it's going to be quite decent actually in the current meta, even though of course Mudslap is going to be one of the worst nightmares for this Pokemon. But as a Shadow, it's actually going to be even better. As you can see here, we're going to have better results with this Pokemon getting average increase. So it also makes sense, like average increase here for Shadow Heatran. Heatran has one of the best defensive typings in the game, by the way. Yes, you're going to have a double weakness to Mudslap, you have a weakness to Water, and you have a weakness to Fighting. But if you play VGC, Heatran basically, since the beginning, is one of the best Pokemon that you could run in VGC based on the stats, based on the typing, and it's actually a very solid Pokemon in Pokemon Go as well. What was always kind of lacking was like the fast move, which got buffed like I think 2 times in the last 3 seasons with Fire Spin here. We have Magma Storm as a signature move for this Pokemon, which is going to be a very solid charge move as well. And then we have Storage as coverage, and this makes this Pokemon a very interesting one for sure. Of course, all the water type Pokemon, all the ground type Pokemon going to be winning against this Pokemon, but as soon as you're going to go over those, like there are a lot of very good wins for this thing. So I would imagine that this Pokemon actually has quite a lot of play. Could even see this Pokemon having some niche play in like play Pokemon tournaments as a Shadow. I think it makes way more sense to have it as a Shadow, just because you have more fast move damage, more potential to farm things down, more damage from Magma Storm, which you're going to get to quite fast. And so this Pokemon, very interesting Pokemon. Would really recommend you for the Open Mouse League. Might not be as ideal because Open Mouse League is a bit more about like bulk. There are like not a lot of Shadow Pokemon that are really good there in the Open Master League. There are a lot of Pokemon, like for example even Dragonite, where the normal variant a lot of times is even preferred. Here as you can see, the increase and decrease here is like not that crazy. It's some matchups really change, but the average rating just drops a bit, but it's like not crazy. And then we're going to take a look here as well. In the 2-shield scenario, this Pokemon is most likely a bit better as a Shadow because you just do a bit more damage. And yeah, you're going to have literally a slight increase there, actually a decrease in terms of wins. but it is not crazy. Moving on to the next one here, we're going to take a look at all of the Pokemon next to its original forms and see if they're going to increase and what they can do. We're going to have Heatran, Primeape, and also the Annihilape here. Primeape is going to be most likely a bit better than Annihilape thanks to the fast move Karate Chop compared to Counter. And as you're going to see, Primeape is going to maybe Primeape will most likely benefit a bit from this kind of update here. Of course, it's going to be a bit weaker against Melama's fast move, which can farm you down here. For Annihilape, it's actually also a bit of a buff again, I feel like, in a lot of scenarios, just because you do a bit more damage. But yeah, of course, Primeape is going to be the better Pokemon to have with the fast move of Karate Chop, which is a legacy move. You could also go ahead and go for the Night Slash on it, which is an interesting moveset as well, which I could see having a bit more play as well, just because you get there even faster to the charge moves, which is really ridiculous. And so I could actually see that Primeape is going to have some play with this moveset for the upcoming season. Like this season right now, it's kind of the moveset that Pangoro currently runs. And we're going to compare Pangoro to this Pokemon here. We're going to see real quick on how they're going to change. Of course, Pangoro has the better typing in terms of having stab on both moves, but Primeape has the better stats in general, and as you're going to see here, Primeape is even the better Pokemon to run. So Shadow Primeape for sure something to pick up for the Great League. Here we're going to have some other Pokemon like the Gigalith having access to Mud Slap, Super Power, Meteor Beam. We have the Scolipede. Scolipede is going to be, again, a Pokemon that I would imagine is going to have a community day very, very soon, like most likely next year, somewhere there. We just have a Bug-type Pokemon coming up, so I can see that's going to be the last one for the, yeah, I think the last community day for this season. Most likely going to be a different one, most likely an Ice type or something like this. But I could see Scolipede being something for like March next year or something like this. And then we're going to have Escavalier here, which is going to be one of the Pokemon that had access to Counter. And I was wondering why it looks so bad on the calculations before. But that explains it. Again, like Counter got nerfed, so this Pokemon is definitely a very solid nerf there on it as well. We can take a look at Bug Bite real quick and see if this is going to help us out a bit. Maybe even Bug Bite Acid Spray could be an interesting combination for it. Is it going to make it better? Maybe a bit, actually, maybe a bit. But yeah, it's not as great anymore as it was before, and this definitely going to hurt this Pokemon quite a bit after the Counter nerf, which again, I actually think is a great thing to be happening. So like, shoutouts to Niantic again. I feel like the changes for the season were actually very decent changes. There are things that I would, of course, again change for the next season, like make Mud Slap a bit less good, like it's a bit too strong to be fair right now. Try to get kind of Clodsire a bit more handled, try to get Feraligatr a bit more handled. But generally speaking, I like how much the meta changed and how many more different kind of Pokemon we see right now. I definitely like this quite a bit. Here we're going to have Butterfree. Butterfree, I feel like, is going to be one of the Pokemon that's very likely going to have a community day eventually as well, that maybe tries to help with it. Maybe it's going to get like U-Turn as a fast move eventually for the next season. Something like this I could see happening. I could see that they're going to try to get Butterfree a bit better. Butterfree, also one of the Pokemon that has a Gigantamix form, which might be also related to that. But Excelgor, going to be fair, my favorite, just because it runs a Water Shuriken. And then you have Bug Buzz and Acid Spray, or you can even go for Focus Blast on it. And don't get me wrong, it is not great, but it's funny, and I like funny Pokemon, and so maybe I'm gonna take a look at Excelgor as well. But here you're gonna take a look now at the Ultra League. We're gonna see as well, but here again, the Primeape is going to be something that you want to pick up as a Shadow. I think the Shadow Primeape does make a lot of sense. The rest, not really that much. As Cavalier, again, is going to have a bit of a better matchup as well. So, like, generally speaking, there are a lot of interesting Pokemon with the Shadow form. And it's definitely a very good Shadow event, especially compared to the last ones that we had. This is going to be a more interesting one here, even against Yveltal. Heatran is going to be a bit better against. And so, yeah, for sure. Interesting one there. Heatran, worth picking up if you have none for the Great League. I think it's worth keeping it for the Great League. If you have a very good one from the encounter here, maybe powered up for the Open Master League, would make some sense as well. But yeah, this is going to be it for this video. Great to see the Shadow event coming back there as well. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.